Seahawks Nation, we just got some huge news here involving the next head coach for the Seattle Seahawks and who most likely will be taking over the reins of Pete Carroll's former job here as head coach for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, like we all know, Pete Carroll, his time here is officially come to an end, and we've been searching, or the Seahawks have been searching, I should say, for an answer at head coach. Who will be the next coach of this football team? And there was a lot of talk about, Ben Johnson of the Lions potentially coming over and bringing some offense to this team. However, he looks like he will be staying put in Detroit, which leaves another candidate out there, a Ravens defensive coordinator in Mike MacDonald. Guys, it would be a massive hiring for the Seattle Seahawks. As we all know, the Seahawks used to have that Legion of Boom type of defense, and that's what they want to start playing like. They want to be back on that type of level, and when you look at this team defensively, the roster that they definitely have the talent, but they need to put it together, schematically. And I think this is where Mike MacDonald comes in and will be a massive pickup. And when we're going to break down some footage here in a second, but also we're going to look at some stats. And I'm going to show you guys why Mike MacDonald, the 36-year-old former D coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, is going to come in here. He just got a second interview today. Why this is going to be a season-changing, a franchise-altering move for them going forward. He is 36 years old, coming off some great seasons. Originally signed with Georgia as a coach. It was kind of like an interim. Then he signed with the Ravens in 2014 as a defensive backs coach, a linebackers coach, before heading to Michigan, where he was Jim Harbaugh's defensive coordinator, right? So he has that NFL experience. He's coached some highly talented players, not only just in college, but in the NFL as well. And then he came back to replace Wink Martindale, for the Ravens as defensive coordinator in 2022. And since then, he has been nothing but amazing for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, before we jump into the video, comment down below, who do you think the next coach for the Seahawks should be? But also, comment down a record prediction for the Seahawks going into next season. Knowing what you know now, I know there's still a whole offseason to go through. Just tell me how you guys are feeling right now and where you think you guys will be. But without any further ado, let's jump into some of these stats and footage, why I think Mike MacDonald is in the future of this Seahawks team. Now, when I take a look at this Seattle Seahawks defense right now, they have the talent everywhere. I mean, you just look at trading for Leonard Williams, having Jerron Reed, Dremont Jones, Boye Mafe, and then from there, the linebacker group with Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner and Uchenna Nwosu, and then the secondary even looks insanely good as well with a guy like Devon Witherspoon. You have Tariq Woolen, you have Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, Julian Love. I mean, this team is stacked, right? And I feel like if they just had a defensive mind at coach, they would be so much better. And listen, don't get me wrong, Seattle has shown their flashes in the past, especially this season against the Giants this week. We get a corner blitz here by Devon Witherspoon. He does a great job disguising this as, a zone defense, right? From right now, it looks like he potentially was playing this zone coverage, got that pre-snap motion, tells us this is zone, but boom, right when they snap the ball, times it perfectly, comes off the edge. The awareness of Daniel Jones is terrible here and ends up screaming off the edge for a sack. Guys, this is what we could start seeing if they bring a guy like Mike MacDonald into the lineup. Now, we're going to go over some stats real quick of the Ravens just to show you what he did for the Ravens this season and last season as well. Let's look at it real quick. Alright, so here's where I want you guys to focus. The Ravens this season ranked number 1. They were the best defense in football in terms of points allowed per game. They also ranked number 5 in yards allowed per game, number 9 in third down conversion percentage allowed, number 1 in fourth down conversion percentage allowed, number 2 in red zone scoring percentage, and number 1 in touchdowns allowed per game. Then you go to their rushing defense. They were ranking number 5 in rush attempts per game, number 1 in rushing touchdowns allowed per game, top 12 in rush yards allowed per game. Then you go to their pass defense, number 1 in yards allowed per pass, number 6 in pass yards allowed per game, and number 7 in sack percentage. Guys, when I look at this Seahawks defense, I see greatness, I see talent, I see potential. And when you bring in a guy like Mike MacDonald, who has showcased what he can do for a defense, guys, I'm telling you right now, this would be huge, massive for Seattle's defense going into next season if they do hire Mike MacDonald. Alright guys, before we jump any further into this video, before we break into some more plays here, do me a quick favor, hit that like button just so we can help get this video out to more Seahawks fans around the world, but also subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be covering the Seahawks all of the offseason. That includes potential draft selections, potential free agent signings, and we're going to do individual film breakdown for the rest of the offseason, just to make sure you guys have stuff to watch about the Seahawks during the deadest point of the season, right? But also, guys, if you subscribe, it is free, it doesn't cost anything, and we're here all year. Also, the last thing I want to say before we jump back into the video, check out my favorite sportsbook in the world, BetUS. They will match your first deposit up to 125%. So, guys, listen. They're going to give you free money, right? So if you put in $100, they're going to give you $125 free. Guys, it would be stupid not to take it. Link in the description. Go sign up. They have a live sports book. They have horse racing, a live casino, regular sports. They have everything. Everything you could want in a sports book, they have it. Might as well go get that free money and go see if you can turn it into $10,000, right? But without any further ado, let's jump right back into the video. Now, one of the main reasons Seattle is such a high or, such a wanted destination here for head coaches is because of this defense. Like we said, they have so much talent, especially in this front seven here, and even in the secondary. I mean, they're loaded, right? Loaded. Like we already said, Leonard Williams, Jerron Reed, Dremont Jones, Boye Mafe, Darrell Taylor, Devon Bush, you have Derick Hall, Mario. I mean, there's so many guys here. Watch this play. We're going to get a play fake to the left side here to 23. We're going to see number 10 scream off the edge. Uchenna Nwosu screams off the edge, right? Right when Daniel Jones turns around, he has a guy in his face. Now, good job by Daniel Jones actually breaking the sack, but look at this effort. 93 getting in here. You have, big number 97 getting in here. All of these guys, Mario Edwards, whoever it may be, these guys work so hard. Jordan Brooks back here. Look at this defense, man. They are stifling. They will make plays. I feel like they're just missing that head coach, that motivator, that young head coach that, the Shanahan or the Mike MacDonalds or, these young coaches, Antonio Pierce and now Jerome Mayo, and I feel like this Dan Campbell even, right? You see these younger head coaches, they're taking over the NFL because they can relate to these players. They can really understand what they're going through, right? And you're seeing these older head coaches get thrown out the league because they aren't coaching the way these younger guys need to be coached, right? You go through different, areas of the football. Things need to change, and when you don't change, you're not going to win football games. And I feel like Mike MacDonald could be a massive change in the right direction for this team. Now let's look at some stats for Seattle this season and see where they need to improve. Okay, so here we go. This is the last thing I really want to show you guys just to sell you. Now, the offense wasn't terrible, right? They ranked about middle of the pack in terms of, passing. They were a pretty good passing team, right? Obviously, I think the run game comes with, building up that offensive line, developing that offensive line a little bit more. But I think this offense is definitely headed in the right direction, especially with, who they have offensively with DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith-Njigba, and, you have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, and, I think this offense is headed in the right direction. But the defense, there was no sign of life other than a few games, right? Ranking number 24 in points allowed per game, 30 in yards allowed per game, 31 in third down convert. This team just had no identity defensively. They couldn't stop the run to save their lives, ranking 29, 27, 31, 30. They couldn't stop the run, as well as they couldn't stop the pass either, right? So I think Mike MacDonald changes everything. Now, obviously, we have no idea who the Seahawks are going to sign. As of right now, I would put my money on Mike MacDonald. I think he is the best fit. I think he is, the perfect guy for what they're trying to do. But do me a favor in the comments down below. Comment down below the number 1 if you think Mike MacDonald is going to be the next head coach for the Seattle Seahawks. But if you don't, comment down below the number 2. But also comment down below like a name, a coach. Who do you want the next head coach of this team to be? Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next breakdown for the Seahawks, which should be in a couple of days from now. Peace.